Hey all, guess what? It's been a minute, but we've got another interview. And this time it's with Ryan Trim. Hey Ryan.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. So pretty exciting that you can join us.
Yeah, I'm psyched to be part of the series at this point. It's quite a number of interesting people out there and interviews, and so I'm joining the fold, I guess, today.
Yes, I understand that we've been nominated for a Grammy, or no, it wouldn't be a Grammy, it'd be an Emmy for this award-winning interview series.
Wow, that's great news.
Yeah,
Yeah, why
you
not?
know, congratulations to us.
Absolutely. Well
Anyway,
deserved.
so let's start out like we usually do. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, like what you do for a living, where you live, why you're in the bathroom?
Yeah, well, I'm in the bathroom a lot, but at least I'm out in the open here. But yeah, I'm in San Diego. I've been out here since 2006. Um, yeah, I'm from the East Coast originally in Orlando, Florida, but I've been
Oh,
out here for quite a bit. And yeah, married, two kids, keep me busy. 10 years old, 8 years old. Definitely a big football fan. My personal team was the Miami Dolphins, so I'm really excited for the Tua era. Where I was very close to all these developments in the preseason. So thinking it could be the year we finally get back to the playoffs in what was it been 16 years or something like that. Stupid. So we will see about Tua in the promised land. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm in the mental health area, just like yourself, I believe, and so I do research, I do clinical work, supervision. I'm involved here in the Veterans Affairs Hospitals, kind of my primary gig, and have some other appointments over at UCSD, University of California, San Diego. So keeps me busy. Good times all around.
so you're in mental health. What's your discipline?
So I am by training a clinical psychologist. So I have a PhD in clinical psychology and have been working since my internship in 2006. So yeah, this is my 15th year working as a provider in Veterans Hospital, and yeah, it's a good mix of everything. I do a little clinical work, teaching, research, supervision, lots of good stuff.
So another doctor on the in the squad. This is,
Yeah, absolutely. Got to represent, you know.
what? So
Yeah.
um so you moved out here from Miami. So you've got your ear to what's happening out there.
Well, I actually grew up in Orlando, Florida. So when I grew up in the 80s, 90s, you know, those Dan Marino times. So all of Florida was obsessed with the Dolphins, and Tampa Bay was awful, and Jacksonville hadn't really started yet. So that's where my allegiance is. And yeah, I had some stops on the way. I lived in North Carolina and Arizona, but I left Orlando after I graduated high school in '96. So but I'm obsessed with the Dolphins, so I listen to Dolphins podcasts every day, highlights every day, all the games. So I do feel like I have a little bit inside track on the players on that team specifically, and I guess the AFC East a little bit more broadly. But yeah, I'm really looking. It was a great season last year. Just missed the playoffs. A lot of good signs, and this is the year for Tua to take over. So
You think you will?
um, I think he will. It's been a really good preseason. You're seeing a lot of growth and development, a lot of accuracy on display. You know, for fantasy's sake, I don't know how much he's going to ball out in terms of point production, but you know that's secondary when it comes to your personal team. I
Right,
think.
right, right.
So, yeah,
So
we'll see.
did you enjoy the discussion about Waddle and the draft thing where he just stands up and walks in?
Oh yeah. He's a character. He's super fast. I mean, he could be kind of a Tyreek Hill 2.0, kind of getting close to that, just a speedster and kind of that unique speed and size, and you know the connection with Tua. I think could be some exciting plays this year. I hope.
Wow, all right. So tell us about which teams you have in our whole NDL scene and how you got started and all that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have the first team I got on board with was in this whole universe was in NFL, NDL, and I took over a team that was pretty good, Washington Redskins. I didn't really know how good. It was my first foray into Dynasty, and I believe that was 2018 was my first season. So I want to say this is my fourth season. But I didn't really know what I was doing at first. I mean, I've been playing fantasy for years and years, and I really was excited about Dynasty. And I think I found this team and league through the, football. I'm probably blanking on their names.
The footballers.
The Footballers podcast, right? The forums there. And so I remember signing up, and I think over the off season, and I guess whoever owned the team gave it up. And it seemed like a good team, but I really didn't know what I was doing. I kind of dismantled it a bit. I found out later that they actually went to the conference semifinals the year before, and then I just kind of like lost most of the key players. But that was like Gurley's record-breaking year. It's Gurley and Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, and like those three, I think, let the previous owner get pretty far with that. But it kind of left the cupboard bare for me, so I kind of had to restart and. It's been a process. I haven't made the playoffs yet. I really enjoy the team. It feels like it's like a real team where like it takes time to build up resources, and you have to hit in the draft, and you have to be smart with trades, and so there's no instant gratification. It's more of a long haul.
That's true. That's true.
So my Redskins are still a work in progress. I was able to trade out in the draft this year, and I really wanted Javonte Williams, but I couldn't really. I got a really great offer from Tony, and it was let me trade down and pick up a couple extra picks and also a pick next year. So I'm in the rebuild and building mode, and so yeah, I had to give him up, but I got Waddle, which I was really excited about, and I got a couple other prospects like Ramondre and Gainwell. So I think I had six picks overall this year in the NDL, and I'm excited to see how it pans out. And then my other team is the newer league and Gridiron Alliance, and I was able to snag the Dolphins there, and I was able to draft Tua, and I actually got Waddle there as well. So I'm a little bit of a homer in that sense.
Oh, but, you gotta.
Well, I actually didn't really want to get Waddle in both, but he fell in one of them. I think he fell in GA, and I was like, well, I think I had the 12th pick or something like that. But yeah, it was the best value of that pick. So all right, so. We'll see. I'm a little bit closer in that. I feel like I think you and I just missed the playoffs last year in GA, right? This year in Buffalo.
Yeah.
We both were like 8-8, 9-7,
something like that. Ain't happening this year.
Yeah, it's a tough division, but I feel like I have the pieces there at least. It's definitely harder because it's smaller rosters and smaller taxi squads, so you have to be a little more efficient. But I feel like I'm a little bit closer in that league, so we'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm. All
but
right.
That's it. Those are my two teams. It's GA Dolphins and NDL Redskins. That's me.
All right. And you said that you've been playing for a while. When did you first start?
Probably back in college, kind of piecemeal, probably more kind of earnest in like the past 10 years. I remember actually being a kid and going to the bookstore and seeing like a book on fantasy football, like a soft cover book. And it was like, what is fantasy football like? And being enthralled by it and stats and kind of numbers. And I remember bought the book and read about it, but I didn't have anyone to play with. So I just kind of knew about it. And then, it took a while for, probably college, grad school, when finding people were kind of getting more and more into it. So I'm in a bunch of leagues, mostly redraft leagues with friends for 10, 15 years. So it's a good time, and I really enjoy the dynasty. That's been kind of a way to spice things up in the past few years. Is really kind of doing this both through Zach's leagues and of course we have our local league here in SoCal that you and I are both part of. That we actually get to meet the people and see them every now and then. So that's been fun as well.
Yeah, that's one of the cool parts about that particular league that we got on footballers. Forums too, was to be local enough to be able to do stuff together. That was cool.
Yeah. So for people who don't know, it's again kind of a semi-local league, and we get together, most of us, for the draft, and we've been doing that since year one. And Sometimes we get to meet during the year for other kind of events. I think we met once for the Super Bowl or for a playoff game. But yeah, it's again mostly local. I know you're probably the furthest away. You're a couple hours away from most of us here in San Diego, but it's always a blast getting together for those events. And now that COVID's, I don't know, slowed down, even though it's not really slowed down, but hopefully we'll have a chance to keep meeting like that.
So what is your link to Gravity Heights?
So Gravity Heights, great question. That's a side hustle for me. And so again, probably anyone not necessarily doesn't know, Gravity Heights is a brewery restaurant in San Diego. I helped found that with my two friends, one of whom is a restaurateur. So he's opened several restaurants before. The other one's a former head brewer, famous brewer who started AleSmith Brewing in San Diego. And it's just something that we kind of developed together years ago, and we're able to get investors. We're able to build it from scratch. So we opened in early 2019, and it's a really great venue. If anyone's ever in the area, I'd love to see you. Lots of outdoor space, great food, great beer. And yeah, so that's it. I'm a founder, co-owner, investor, and so we've been. You guys have been kind enough to humor me and our get-togethers to meet there. But hopefully everything there is worked out in terms of food and drink. But yeah, if anyone in these leagues, I know it's spread out across the globe. If you ever find your way in San Diego, love to hang out and grab a beer with you all. I'm sure it happens sometimes, right?
Yeah, and I highly recommend that all of you find somebody that owns a restaurant that's outdoors with great beer to be able to have on your league. It's really nice to have that option available.
Yes, that has worked out well. I've enjoyed sharing that and hosting you guys for those events. That's been a lot of fun.
That's a lot of fun. So, all right. So you've been playing since college, then you got into Dynasty and all that stuff. And so who's your favorite player that you have on any of your leagues?
Well, I mean, I think for Zach's leagues, I got to take out of having the Dolphins, number one, of course. But on that team, I have Russell Wilson, who I love. I think he's great. And Dalton, I think, is my backup. But I have Tua on the taxi squad. And so I'm excited to have Tua activate. And again, I think Russell is going to be a top option for years to come here. But I just got to kick out of, having a player, kind of your star quarterback on your own team, kind of say, oh, I could tap into him if I want to. But I would say he's my favorite player right now. And in terms of best player, I mean, again, my Redskins team is pretty bare, but DeAndre Swift looks like he might have a breakout year. TJ Hawkinson. I have somehow I'm all in on the Lions. I don't know how I ended up with so many Lions, but not a good sign. So I had Hawkinson, Swift, Perryman. I've Goff. Somehow I got Goff this offseason. I traded around some backups for Goff, and so I don't really like the Lions. So I don't know why this has happened to me, but what could happen? What's the worst that could happen? I guess, right?
Well, you could look like a genius down the road if it all works out.
Yeah, if they just go complete air show and just kind of fall out, then I'm in good shape here. But we'll see. Yeah, I just noticed that I was like, wow, too many Lions for one team, probably.
So which player do you wish you had on your teams?
Oh man, like anyone for my Redskins team. Like again, I've been trying to get just like an RB1. Like again, DeAndre Swift is the closest I've gotten, and obviously last year wasn't that solid. And it's just been a rotation of like second and third stringers. And so if I could just get a top 10 running back at some point in the next year or two, I would probably be ecstatic. Because I'm starting people like Malcolm Brown. I'm starting the real bottom of the barrel running backs, especially if there's any injuries. And so I just it's hard for me to get depth there. I think as it's a struggle for a lot of us in these larger leagues. But I just want RB1. That's all I ask for. Please let it happen.
Well, I'm sure this interview will make it happen, I'm sure.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So what would you say is the most interesting thing about you?
The most interesting thing about me? Geez, I don't know. That's a good question. I would probably just say that what we already covered, the fact that I kind of have a side hustle as a brewery owner. I would say, it's tough too because, I kind of have two sides, right? So my professional side, I have kind of the academic side and specializing in mental health, and that includes treating mental health and even substance use issues. So I kind of have these conflicting sides where on one side I'm helping people who might have issues with things like alcohol and drugs, and the other side I'm a brewery co-owner. And so I try to kind of not let people know all these sides. I don't really promote it. I mean, my colleagues obviously know that, I'm a co-owner of the restaurant brewery, but I certainly don't tell patients that. And, it's
That's
just
a really good point.
It's a little bit of a balance. I try to be careful who I tell.
Right. I totally get that. So what's the coolest thing you own?
What's the coolest thing I own? Oh my gosh. Like sports related or just
Anything.
oh my gosh. Well, as of today, I just found out that we are taking receipt of a new car on, I guess, Saturday. So this week we ordered a Tesla, and so I'm very excited that this is the week we get our Tesla. We've been waiting for about 3 months, and it's just going to be a new toy for us all to play with, and I'm very excited to have
What'd you
an
get?
electric car.
Which kind?
Model Y, like long distance, blue. So
Oh,
it's gonna be my wife's primary, but I think I'm gonna steal it a lot.
yeah,
I have to make sure it's working right. And I have to like
right.
set it up and but that's something we've been waiting for, and her car's a little bit older, so it's nice for her to get an upgrade. And but yeah, I would say that's the most recent thing I'm very excited about is the incoming Tesla here.
Yeah, quality control. You got to do that, Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of like electronics and syncing, and you got to really kind of make sure you got all the preferences set up and
Yeah.
all the
Hmm.
a lot of functions there. So it takes a lot of time.
So, what do you think that the leagues would like to know about you?
Oh man, I don't know. I think I enjoy interacting. I'm not as active as a lot of people. I'm definitely a part of the Discord, but I just kind of jump on for main events. I enjoy the process of trades and trade offers. There are a lot of complicated trade offers out there, but I respond almost all the time. And if there's like a seed of a potential offer in there that could work for both parties, I really like kind of going through it. I know there are lots of people in the leagues who are probably more active in trades and trade offers than others. But I think it's just getting on the same page, right? I mean, part of it's saying, is this fair for both sides? We both kind of figure a way. I really found it helpful to find a tool for that. I'm sure this is not a new thing, but there are calculators and rankings out there, and I pay like $5 a year for one called Dynasty Calculator. I'm not sure how popular it is. Have you seen that one before? DynastyCalculator.com?
Yeah, I have it. Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's just like it's a simple way, and because I mean, especially with Dynasty, it's like, what's the value on this? What's the value on the pick next year? What's the value on this rookie? And there's different ways you want to prioritize in terms of just worth. Obviously, you can go from your gut, but I just plug them in whenever I trade, and if it's like in the ballpark or it's an interesting trade to me, I'll kind of want to push it forward and say, let's figure it out. If it's like completely, 10 value points to 30 where I'm getting screwed, it's like, this is not even a starter. Let's just kind of move on. But I think, I think kind of just the gist, a long story to a short question is that, I'm here, I'm around. I like connecting with you guys. Probably not super active in the off season just because I don't like making moves when nothing much is happening. So I like making moves around the draft when the season starts. I just made that big trade in the draft to swing Javonta for all those picks with Tony. But yeah, I think I'm easy to grab a hold of on Discord. I'm more active on Discord, so DM me in Discord or, obviously the site's a little bit hard to navigate. But yeah, I enjoy talking trash and jumping on every now and then, but definitely is something that, again, I'm more active when things are happening during the season.
And is Discord the best way to get hold of you?
Yeah, I think so. Again, I jump onto the server kind of more sporadically, but if you DM me, like you did and Tony did and Ash does that, and I think it's best for trade offers to like connect before you throw them in. But if you throw in a good trade offer blind, and it can start the process. But I find it helpful to kind of have that conversation on DMs before just to see if there's interest and possible to work things out.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm in NFL in your conference now, so we should look
Who you
at.
in? You switch?
49ers.
Who was 49ers before? Was that the
I don't know. Somebody left and I took over the team.
But you weren't in that one before. You're in
I'm in all of them.
Okay. Was there 4 now? 3, 4, 5.
4.
Okay, so you weren't in NFL, but now you're San Francisco. All right, you're following me around. You're trying to take all my players and wreck my schedule.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Well, everyone should know. Even though, did you go to the playoffs in any other of his leagues?
32.
You did. How far did you get?
Super Bowl.
Oh, you did. You won?
No.
Who beat you?
Joe. By like 0.17 or something.
Whoa. Oh,
yeah, it was ridiculous. Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Well, people here should know that in our local league, we faced off in the Super Bowl last year. And unfortunately, I was on the losing side of that. And we have a very cool trophy, which you might have around there. I don't know. Is your trophy around?
Yeah, it's in the living room.
Okay. But I had to transfer the trophy to you a little bit ago, and that was a sad moment. But because I had won the previous year. But I did not play you the previous year. I forget who it was. Maybe it was, all right, so someone else. But I won the year before. I got to keep it during COVID for a little bit, and then you dismantled me last season. So very good game. You had I think all your players showed up for that, and mine just kind of crapped the bed. But that's what happens.
As it should be. Mm-hmm.
Yes, a well-deserved win. So you have a championship trophy within your home right now, and I'll do my best to get that back this year.
I bet you will. And you're also the reason I'm in these leagues.
I know. That's why I jumped on the server. I hadn't been on a while, and I was getting crap for that. And I said, I think I'm most infamous for bringing you in. And so
good or bad, it's true.
Good or bad, it's good. Well, you're bringing a lot of energy. You're bringing the podcast. You're bringing a lot of the personality of, I think, these leagues, which is. There's a lot of people. It's a lot of teams. I don't know how Zach does it administratively. I know some people help him out, but it's a lot to coordinate. He's been doing it for a long time. But I think, again, he's set up a really great thing here. And, whether people like it or not, I help bring you on board. Yeah, because I think I joined this, and then our league started a year or two later, and then Zach asked. He said there was a few openings, and I said, I think I may have put it to our whole league. And you were like, yes, I'm into it. Give it to me, and everything worked out. And you landed, I think, first in GA in my conference, and
mm-hmm.
I think you whipped me that first year. But yeah, exactly. So if anyone has any complaints, send them my way. I'm the one to blame. But Rene is a great competitor. I'm looking forward to all of our leagues this year. Yes.
Well, this was
and
great.
a very willing trade partner. You're always
That's
up for
true.
a deal. Wheeling and dealing, draft day, off season, fair trades. And so if people are looking for someone out there, I can definitely vouch for your trade history, 100%.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for doing the interview. I'm glad that everybody was able to meet the great Dr. Trim.
Yes, good to see you. Hopefully I'm looking forward to more interviews and put names to faces. But thank you so much for doing it.
All right. Have a great night.
See ya.